Hi, I'm Jane Bellis and I am going to be taking you through some breathwork exercises today. Now we all have access to this really vital and really powerful tool. It's a free resource, but most of us don't really know how to use it. So I'm just going to take you through just a few really simple basics to help you navigate whatever it is you're experiencing at the moment. And using the breath can sometimes just make things a little bit easier, help you get into flow, help you get into focus, help you with the power of the pause to be able to manage things like anxiety and stress and low mood. And of course, you don't need to go anywhere for it. You can do it wherever you are, whenever you need it, and it's free. So what a cool resource, eh? Now, most of us think that we know how to breathe, right? We've been doing it since we were born. And when people say, you're not breathing properly, we think, well, of course I am. I'm alive, aren't I? I must be breathing correctly. But we don't really use an awful lot of our lung capacity. And considering that breathing is to bring oxygen into our body, to oxygenate our cells and to fill up our tank and to fuel us up, we really aren't doing the best job we possibly could. So if we've got these tools in our toolkit, we can actively start to build in new habits and bring these practices into our day-to-day life. Really helps with every aspect of life, including your physical health. Now, the first exercise I'm going to talk you through is one that I use with most of the people that I work with, and it really helps me personally. It's called anchor breathing or balloon breathing, and it's a really good technique to use if you are really struggling in the moment. If you are, for example, having a panic attack, experiencing high levels of anxiety, maybe before an exam or a driving test or a really stressful situation. And it just helps to switch the switch very quickly from sympathetic nervous system or fight or flight response back to parasympathetic nervous system response or rest and digest. And when we learn ways to flick that switch back, we can start to build in these new practices which help us expand our ability to deal with the situations that we're experiencing in real time as they occur. And what happens is when you manage to flip that switch back into rest and digest, you are able to access parts of the brain that are responsible for logic and reasoning, and you're able to process a little bit more, and you're able to think a bit clearly, and you'll be able to deal with the situation far better. When you're in fight or flight, you don't have access to this part of the brain, which is why you just feel completely overwhelmed in the moment and really struggle to make any clear decisions or work out what it is that you need. So having this in your toolkit is a really good one because you can use it straight away and it's really fast. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to work with the principle that if we can make our exhale at least twice as long as our inhale, then that is the switch that flicks us from one state into the other, right? So if you just think basic maths, if you're taking 4 seconds to breathe in, you need to take at least 8 seconds to breathe back out again. And the chemical responses that happen in your brain are affected by this, and we get less of the chemicals that make us stay in fight or flight, and we get more of the chemicals that help us get back into rest and digest. And the way that we're going to do this is you can find your own way around it if you like to count, and if you would like to do exactly what I just said and make your inhale 4 seconds long, have a brief pause, and then make your exhale 8 beats long. That's absolutely fine. I find that when I'm in the moment, I can't even count properly, so I tend to have a visualization way to do it and a very quick, simple way to do it. So this is the one I'm going to teach you today. And all we're going to do is you're going to fill your lungs up as quickly as you possibly can. So you're going to imagine that you're taking a big breath in as if you're about to hold your breath. You know, that really big, expansive before you hold your breath. Okay, so when you're in fight or flight, you're probably going to be able to do that because your breath's really shallow anyway. So you're going to just make it really big. You're really going to fill your lungs up. And you're going to try and pause for a second if you possibly can at the top of that breath. Now, while you're taking this breath, we're going to distract the mind. And what I'd like you to do is imagine, as you're taking that big breath in, that you have a big green balloon in your chest and you're expanding this huge big green balloon inside your chest, okay, behind your ribs. So that's the first bit of visualization we're going to do. Then once you've held for a beat, I want you to imagine when you exhale that you are blowing up a balloon on the outside this time, and it's one of the really tight ones that doesn't want to blow up. It's really tight and you can only get a little bit of air in at the time, and you're blowing it up, and you can picture a colour. Pink's a nice colour. You can pick any colour you like. So pick your colour and you're going to blow that balloon up, and it's going to take a lot longer because it's really tight and it's hard to blow up. Make sense? Okay, so I'm going to give you an example and then we'll do a couple. And I find if you can do 3 of these breaths, you can immediately feel that your response has changed. Okay, so the first one, big breath in, and then a very slow breath out with your balloon, okay? So, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. You can see that that was definitely way more than twice as long on the exhale. It takes ages, right? So it's going to do you good. So if you take 2 or 3 of those breaths, you will be able to notice the difference immediately. So we'll just do one more. Make sure you got the hang of it. So don't forget, big breath in. Imagine that big green balloon expanding super fast, super expansive. A little bit of a hold, and then blow that balloon out really slowly. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now I do this before I go on stage. If I'm doing something really, really stressful and where my adrenaline's really pumping, I'll make sure I have 3 of those breaths before I go out or before I do what it is that I need to do. Immediately gets me into that zone of being still energized but really nice and calm. So give that one a go, see how you feel with it. Write down anything that crops up, write down your thoughts, journal away, and then have it in your toolkit for the next time you need it.